Today we were discussing the benign breast diseases, right? So before we begin, this is a the introduction to how it looks and how everything will start from here. So this is a basic anatomy. The first of all, this is the breast is made up of two major components. One is terminal duct lobular unit, which is also known as TDLUs, and another is a large duct system. This is the terminal portion. This is the acini. Okay, these are the acini, and after that they will form ductus and ducts, and afterwards there will be subsegmental, segmental ducts, and ultimately they will form a large lactiferous duct, and it will drain the milk out. So this is a least minute unit which is known as the TDLU or the terminal duct lobular unit. It consists of a lobule, which means this is a lobule. Okay, it will have many minute acini. Each one, this is a acini, and each multiple acini will form a lobule. And from these lobules, everything will gets collected from a duct. These are the acini. This small one is acini, and this is that histological picture. One acini is formed of this outer and a inner two layers of epithelium. The outer is the myoepithelial layer and the inner is the epithelial layer. So to differentiate between benign and malignant breast diseases, these layers are important. This first myoepithelial layer, these two layers, that is myoepithelial and the inner epithelial layer, these two layers have to be present in case of benign breast diseases. If this, in case of malignant, this outer layer or the myoepithelial layer will be lost. Okay, that's why knowing this is important. If in case of benign breast diseases, there will be always presence of myoepithelial layer or the outer layer. Inner layer will be present in both cases, but the outer layer will also be present in benign cases. If it is lost, then it will be going to malignant cases. So this is a acini, multiple acini. These are the multiple acini will form a lobule. This is a lobule which contains multiple acini and interconnecting ducts. Okay, from this epithelial proliferation and the lobular proliferation, there will be formation of carcinomas. Okay, initially there will be benign proliferations, and if this goes beyond including genetic mutations, there will be formation of increased proliferation of epithelium, and it will ultimately lead to carcinomas. From this epithelium or the TDLU unit, it will give rise to multiple carcinomas and the other proliferating breast diseases. And another important part is there is the underlying, this is a stroma. This is a lobule. These are the lobules, and the intervening part is the stroma. Okay. The stroma is also important. From the stroma, they give rise to some conditions, and this stromal invasion is important in case of malignancies. In case of malignancies, from this proliferation, the cells will go invade the stroma. This is the outer, this pink part is the stroma. Okay. So breast has two parts. One is the epithelium, these are the lobules, and the stroma, or the TDLUs and the stroma. The TDLUs consist of the acini and the ducts. The acini consist of two layers. One is the outer myoepithelial and the inner epithelial layer, and the outer intervening pink part is the stroma. So this is an image. These are the lobules, the TDLUs. This is a normal one. This is a benign proliferation which is there inside it, and if it goes outside and invading this pink part is a stroma, and it invades that part, this will be malignant. Okay. So to classify benign breast diseases, first of all, we have three categories. One is a non-proliferative, another is proliferative. Among proliferative, there can be two types. One is without atypia, another is with atypia. So for non-proliferative, there is most important is fibrocystic disease. This is the most common or the normal condition which is found. Most common benign condition is the fibrocystic disease. This is a non-proliferative condition. This classification is done based on the risk of malignancy. Based on the risk of malignancy, in case of non-proliferative lesion, it will not progress to malignancy. There is no risk or minimal risk. In case of proliferative diseases without atypia, there is mild risk of transformation into cancer. And in case of proliferative disease with atypia, there is increased risk of transformation into malignancy. That's why knowing this classification is important. So under the proliferative breast diseases without atypia, atypia means there will be cellular or morphologically there will be atypical features of the cells. Proliferative means the cells will increase in number, but without atypia there will be no atypical formations in the cells. But in case of proliferative disease with atypia, there will be cytological atypia along with proliferation. So under proliferative breast diseases, we have usual ductal hyperplasia. Hyperplasia means, anyone? Hyperplasia means? What do you mean by hyperplasia? Right, increase in number of cells. And sclerosing adenosis, there is radial scar, intraductal papilloma and complex sclerosing lesion. So this important is the usual ductal hyperplasia among this, and you have to know the names. Even if not the details, just know the names. And in case of proliferative diseases with atypia, there is atypical ductal hyperplasia and atypical lobular hyperplasia. Okay, we have to differentiate it from the ductal carcinomas in situ and lobular carcinomas in situ, which will be covered in next classes. So etiology for most of the breast diseases, including benign and malignancy, the most important factor here is the estrogen. When there is estrogen increase or raise, it will give rise to these conditions. So these risk factors will be those which will cause hyperestrogenic states, including early menarche, late menopause, nulliparity, all, and the hormonal therapies all will have lead to ultimately hyperestrogenic state. When there is increased estrogen content, that will lead to increased proliferation, because estrogen causes this epithelial proliferation. And these are the similar things. There will be due to hormonal imbalance, excess estrogenic stimulation, relative progesterone deficiency, cyclic hormonal fluctuations, and increased sensitivity and aging and the reproductive changes. So the pathogenesis of this normal lesions is there will be hormonal changes usually occur during menstrual cycles, which causes epithelial proliferation, stroma remodeling and lobular involution that occurs normally. But abnormal response, if there is in these things, if this proliferation or any of this one is abnormal, then this will lead to formation of fibrosis, cyst formation, hyperplasia, adenosis, and it will lead to these things. So from the non-proliferative, the first important or the most common one is the fibrocystic disease. This is a benign condition which occurs in many cases, but this has no increased risk of malignancy. This will be present inside the name. There is, from fibrocystic disease, there will be presence of cyst. Okay, there will be multiple cyst formation along with from fibrous there will be fibrosis. So from the name we are getting two components, one is fibrosis, another is cystic changes, and along with there will be adenosis, increased number of glands. So there are three components in this fibrocystic disease. One is fibrosis, another is cyst formation, another is adenosis or increased gland formation. And the clinical features, there will be increased cyclical breast pain, that will be cyclical with the menstrual cycle, and there will be increase in nodularity, and there will be premenstrual enlargement. And on gross features, there we will find multiple cysts, and some of these cysts will contain secretions which will look like blue, and these are known as blue dome cyst. And on microscopy, there will be fibrosis, dilated ducts, and apocrine metaplasia. So these are the images of this fibrocystic changes. These are the cysts. These are the microscopy images. This is the cyst formation. These are the dilated ducts which contains secretions. Okay. And these are the adenosis, means increase in number of glands. And there will be apocrine metaplasia, which is, these are the apocrine changes. There will be apical snouts. যে এপিথেলিয়াম গুলো থাকে সেগুলোই এপিক্যাল সাইটে এনলার্জ হয়ে যায়, তো সেটাকেই বলছে এপিক্যাল মেটাপ্লাসিয়া। তো ফাইব্রোসিস্টিক চেঞ্জেসের মধ্যে ইম্পর্টেন্ট কি কি হলো, তাহলে দেয়ার উইল বি সিস্ট, আর ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ডে যে পিঙ্ক এরিয়া রয়েছে সেখানে হচ্ছে ফাইব্রাস প্রলিফারেশন হয়, দেয়ার উইল বি ফাইব্রোসিস। ঠিক আছে, তো this cyst will contain multiple secretions, and some of this cyst will contain blue colored secretions which are called as blue dome cysts. Okay, so next comes our proliferative breast diseases without atypia. So here there is proliferation but no atypia. There will be no features of carcinoma in situ, and these include epithelial hyperplasia, sclerosing adenosis, complex sclerosing lesion, and papilloma. So first comes our epithelial hyperplasia. In epithelial hyperplasia means there will be increase in number of cell layers. Epithelial cell layer was the inner or outer layer? দুটো লেয়ার ছিল আমাদের, একটা ইনার লেয়ার ছিল, একটা আউটার লেয়ার ছিল। ফার্স্টেই বলা, ইনার লেয়ারে কি ছিল? ইনার এপিথেলিয়াল, আউটার মায়োএপিথেলিয়াল। ঠিক আছে, তো ইনার যে এপিথেলিয়াল লেয়ার সেটাই হচ্ছে যখন হাইপারপ্লেসিয়া হবে, ইনার একটা লেয়ার ছিল, বাইরে একটা আউটার লেয়ার ছিল। তো এখানে যখন মোর দেন 3 সেল লেয়ার্স হবে তখন আমরা বলবো সেটাকে হাইপারপ্লেসিয়া। ঠিক আছে, নাম্বার অফ সেলস বাড়ছে, লেয়ার একটা ছিল এপিথেলিয়াল কিন্তু মাল্টিপল লেয়ার্স যখন হয়ে যাচ্ছে, মোর দেন 2 লেয়ার্স, দ্যাট ইজ নোন অ্যাজ এপিথেলিয়াল হাইপারপ্লেসিয়া। This consists of both, the additional cells will be both luminal and myoepithelial cells. Both proliferation হবে, কিন্তু epithelial cell layers most of সব মিলিয়ে দুটো লেয়ারের বেশি থাকবে। ঠিক আছে, these cells will fill and distend the ducts and lobules. And in case of this one is important, and just remember some points of each one. First is our sclerosing adenosis. Adenosis মানে increase in number of glands, আর sclerosing মানে there will be pink color deposition or increased fibrosis or sclerosis. Okay, so this is sclerosing মানে হচ্ছে fibrosis, একটা পিঙ্ক কালারের ডিপোজিশন আমরা দেখতে পাবো। তো সেটা হচ্ছে স্ট্রোমাতে হবে, there will be stromal fibrosis, and adenosis means increase in number of acini. যে acini গুলো দেখছিলাম সেগুলো নাম্বার বাড়বে, আর এপিথেলিয়াল হাইপারপ্লেসিয়া মানে হচ্ছে নাম্বার অফ লেয়ার্স বাড়বে। ঠিক আছে, this can mimic carcinoma, and in intraductal papilloma this is a papillary lesion which occurs within a duct, and this important is it causes bloody nipple discharge. This point is important from this intraductal papilloma. This clinically will present with bloody nipple discharge. And in case of radial scar, there will be central fibrosis. And radiologically, it can mimic carcinoma, but on we can differentiate it microscopically. তাহলে proliferative breast lesion without atypia তে চারটে important entities. One is epithelial hyperplasia, another is sclerosing adenosis, intraductal papilloma, and radial scar. So next is our proliferative breast diseases with atypia. This will look like similar with this will resemble carcinomas in situ. We have two types of carcinomas in situ. One is ductal and is lobular. One is ductal carcinoma in situ and another is lobular carcinoma in situ. So, similarly, there will be atypical ductal hyperplasia and atypical lobular hyperplasia. This atypical ductal hyperplasia will resemble ductal carcinoma in situ and atypical lobular hyperplasia will resemble atypical lobular carcinoma in situ. So, coming to proliferative breast diseases with atypia, it has only two entities. One is ductal and another is lobular hyperplasia. So, already we know hyperplasia means increase in number of cells. So, this is a increase in a number of cells within, there will be proliferation of number of cells, there will be monomorphic proliferation with, but this will not entirely fill the duct, which is present in case of ductal carcinoma in situ. And this is a lobular carcinoma in situ, but it will only be present less than 50% of the acinine. So that's these are the increased hyperplasias. They don't look normal. They have increased INC ratios and hyperchromatia, but they doesn't fulfill the criteria of the carcinomas in situ. That's why these are proliferative breast diseases with atypia, but they have increased risk of transformation into malignancies. Just remember these two names, atypical ductal and atypical lobular hyperplasia. So, to differentiate with this, without atypia and with atypia, main difference is in increase in cancer risk. There will be only 1.5 to 2 times risk in case of without atypia, but it will be 4 to 5% risk in case of with atypia to transform into malignancy. So, the most important are the usual ductal hyperplasia, papillomas and the sclerosing adenosis, and with atypia, it's the atypical ductal and the atypical lobular hyperplasias. So, the hormone dependency we already know, the most important is estrogenic stimulation. This estrogen stimulates epithelial proliferation and the progesterone stimulates lobular development, and this prolactin stimulates the secretory activity. So, these hormones are involved in benign breast diseases, and the clinical significance of benign proliferative breast diseases are the non-proliferative changes do not progress to cancer. Proliferative diseases without atypia have mild risk, that is 1.5 to 2 times of transformation, and proliferative diseases with atypia has a moderate risk, that is 4 to 5 times of converting into malignancy. So to summarize, those that are includes within the without atypia, that is a papilloma and the hyperplasia without atypia, they have mild risk, and the atypical ductal and the lobular hyperplasia have moderate increased risk. And these fibrocystic changes are the non-proliferative, which has minimal or no risk. So next comes these were the epithelial tumors. The previous ones were the epithelial. These are the lesions which arise from epithelium, and these two are the stromal or the fibroepithelial tumors. There were two parts, one was the epithelial one and the other, the pink part, was the stroma. From this or the fibroepithelial tumors, they give rise to two tumors, that is, one is the fibroadenoma and the phyllodes tumor. Fibroadenoma is benign, and phyllodes, there is two types. One is benign, mostly it's benign, but it also has a malignant counterpart. So these tumors arise from the intralobular stroma. There we have stromas of two types. One is intralobular, another is interlobular. Intralobular means within a lobule, the stroma is called interlobular, and between two lobules, it is called interlobular. So coming to fibroadenoma, this is the most common stromal benign breast tumor in young women. The most common benign condition is fibrocystic disease. but the most common benign tumor is fibroadenoma. Okay, this occurs in young women. It's mostly occurs between 20 to 30 years of age, and it is derived from the intralobular stroma. And grossly, it's well circumscribed, firm, and mobile. This clinically, it will present with painless breast lump, which is very mobile. That's why it is known as breast mouse. During palpation, it will get due to mobileness, there will be called as breast mouse. And in case of microscopy, on microscopy, there will be increase in fibrostroma. Since it's stromal derived, it will have increased fibrostroma and there will be compressed glandular ducts. So these are the images grossly. This is a well circumscribed tumor, and on card section it's more or less homogeneous grayish white, and on microscopy there we find two patterns. These are important for practicals. Okay, we have two patterns of fibroadenoma. One is intracanalicular, another is pericanalicular. Intracanalicular, these are the ducts will be compressed. Okay, by proliferating stroma, the ducts will be compressed, and these are known as intracanalicular pattern. And when there is stromal proliferation surrounding, this is known as a pericanalicular pattern. দুটো প্যাটার্ন আছে যেগুলো সারাউন্ডিং এ যেগুলো ডাক্ট গুলো নরমাল থাকবে তার সারাউন্ডিং এ প্রলিফারেশন হবে, সেগুলো হচ্ছে পেরিক্যানালিকুলার। দিস ওয়ান ইজ আ পেরিক্যানালিকুলার। গ্ল্যান্ড গুলো রাউন্ডেড থাকবে নরমাল, কিন্তু এই গ্ল্যান্ড গুলোই হচ্ছে ডিউ টু ইনক্রিজ, এইটা হচ্ছে স্ট্রোমা, ঠিক আছে। এই পিঙ্ক পার্ট এগুলো হচ্ছে স্ট্রোমা। স্ট্রোমাল প্রলিফারেশনের জন্য ডাক্ট গুলো কম্প্রেস হয়ে যাবে, সেটাকে বলছে ইন্ট্রাক্যানালিকুলার প্যাটার্ন। দিস টু প্যাটার্নস ইউ হ্যাভ টু নো। And next comes our phyllodes tumor. Phyllodes tumor is, the name comes from the leaf-like appearance. Grossly and on microscopy there is leaf-like or the slit-like spaces, which gives the rise to the name of phyllodes tumor. Okay, so this is a group of circumscribed biphasic neoplasm characterized by double-layered epithelial component and arranged in clefts. This arises from the intralobular stroma, similar like the fibroadenomas. It occurs in age between 30 to 70 years with an increase in 50 years of age. Majority, they are detected as palpable masses, and they, depending on the appearance of the stromal component, they can be divided into low grade and high grade. And the low grade lesions do not metastasize, but the high grade ones recur and can metastasize. So this is a gross image of a phyllodes tumor. They are usually large, and inside there is slit-like spaces, like the leaf of the veins of the leaf. There are slit-like spaces, and that's why they are called leaf-like or the phyllodes tumor. Also in microscopy, these are the slit-like spaces which occur due to epithelial and the stromal proliferation. Then this is a microscopy image. These are the stromal proliferation, and these are the compressed ducts. Okay, since it has a leaf-like appearance, it is known as phyllodes tumor. Non-proliferative. Next, proliferative without atypia and proliferative with atypia. So under non-proliferative কি আসছে আমাদের? Fibrocystic disease, which is the most common benign condition. And fibrocystic disease presents as clinical features. Clinically কিভাবে present করবে? There will be cyclical pain. ঠিক আছে, সাইক্লিক্যাল পেইন হবে। আর অন মাইক্রোস্কোপি দেয়ার উইল বি ফাইব্রোসিস্টিক, মানে কি কি আছে কম্পোনেন্টস? ওয়ান ইজ ফাইব্রোসিস, দেয়ার উইল বি সিস্ট ফর্মেশন, দেয়ার উইল মাল্টিপল সিস্ট, অ্যান্ড দেয়ার উইল বি অ্যাডিনোসিস। ঠিক আছে, আচ্ছা, there is no risk of transformation in cancer. Next is our proliferative without atypia. তার মধ্যে কি কি পড়ছে? proliferative without ATP এর মধ্যে epithelial hyperplasia or the usual ductal hyperplasia or sclerosing adenosis, intraductal papilloma and the radial scar. ঠিক আছে, hyperplasia মানে increase in number of layers of cells, and the sclerosing adenosis there will be increase in acinine along with sclerosis. Intraductal papilloma there will be, it will present as bloody nipple discharge, and in case of radial scar there will be central fibrosis. আর proliferative breast disease এর মধ্যে দুটোই আছে, ATP with atypia, কি আছে atypical ductal and atypical lobular hyperplasia. ঠিক আছে, আর ইম্পর্টেন্ট কজ কি তাহলে আমাদের হরমোন ডিপেন্ডেন্ট, মোস্ট ইম্পর্টেন্ট হরমোন ইনভলভড ইন দিস কি estrogen, right? And under the stromal tumors we have two things, one is fibroadenoma, another is phylloids. Fibroadenoma ki features, clinical features ki hobe, this is a farm, so it can be solitary, multiple, unilateral, bilateral, but there it will be firm and mobile mass. Okay, this is the most common tumor, benign tumor which occurs in young age, most commonly between 20 to 30 years. And on microscopy we have two patterns. One is on microscopy, what is the patterns? One is intracanalicular and another is the pericanalicular. Okay, so there is stromal proliferation which gives rise to two patterns. One is pericanalicular and intracanalicular. And phylloids, the name comes from leaf-like appearance of this tumor. Okay, this has a both high grade and low grade parts. Coming to next topic, that is the gynecomastia. It is defined as a benign enlargement generally occurs due to the increased estrogen relative to the androgen secretion. When there is increased estrogen action, there will or reduced androgen action in any of the cases, in both or any of the cases, it will lead to increased proliferation, that is hypertrophy and hyperplasia, and that will lead to gynecomastia. So coming to the etiology, it can be physiological and pathological. Physiologically, during neonatal, puberty and elderly, it can be physiologically due to the increased or the hormonal imbalances. Most commonly it occurs due to hormonal changes during puberty, and this is physiological. But in case of adults, mostly it is pathological, that occurs mostly due to reduced estrogenic state or the hyperestrogenic state or the hypogonadism, and due to many drug related cases. Most important is the alcohol, marijuana, anabolic steroids, and another is the Klinefelter syndrome. It also can be idiopathic. And the hyperestrogenic states results from cirrhosis or the chronic liver disease, and they can be from the estrogen secreting tumors like the Leydig cell tumors, HCG secreting germ cell tumors, or the lung carcinoma. From this effects there can be also gynecomastia in the adults. These are the etiologies. So pathogenesis is similar, that is there is most important thing is the imbalance between the estrogen and the androgens. The first mechanism is increased estrogen production. Increased estrogen production causes increase in proliferation of this ducts and the periductal stromal proliferation, which will lead to breast enlargement. This is in association with reduced testosterone. There will be increased peripheral aromatization and increased estrogen receptor stimulation. So from grossly, it appears as rubbery subareolar tissue. It's usually bilateral, well circumscribed, oval disc-shaped mass, and on microscopically there is ducts which are lined by multiple layers, and there will be surrounding stromal proliferation. So clinical features, it can be both unilateral and bilateral. They are centered below the nipple as a button or subareolar enlargement, and the important to contrast is carcinoma. In case of carcinoma, it will be eccentric, that is peripheral location. But in case of gynecomastia, which is a benign condition, it occurs beneath the nipple or the subareolar location. The hormonal dependency, it's estrogen dependent. This estrogen stimulates the ductal growth and the stromal proliferation, and androgens inhibit breast growth. So when it develops when there is estrogen effect predominates over the androgens. Any case where there is estrogen stimulation more than androgens, there will be increased stimulation of this ducts and the stromal proliferation, and it will give rise to gynecomastia. So, benign breast diseases are largely hormone-mediated disorders. The fibrocystic changes are the most common ones, and the fibroadenoma being the most common benign tumor. This is a condition lesion, this is a tumor. And the proliferative lesions with atypia contains increased carcinoma risk, and gynecomastia results from increased estrogen to androgen effect. Just summarize the gynecomastia in short. Causes की main की ব্যাপার increase estrogen and less androgens. ঠিক আছে, hormonal imbalance mostly physiological, pathological দু রকম হতে পারে. Physiological হচ্ছে যদি in case of hormonal imbalances during puberty, that is the most common thing, and in pathological it can be when there is increased estrogen effect or reduced androgens in case of in case of cirrhosis or other tumors and the estrogen secreting tumors like the Leydig cell tumors, other germ cell tumors, and there will be also in case of drug effects like phenytoin, alcohol, and spironolactone, other along with there is anabolic steroids. So these are the questions which can be asked. First is the classification, next is the what are the fibrocystic changes, next is what are the proliferative breast lesions, includes both with atypia and without atypia. Next comes our how we differentiate fibroadenoma from carcinoma. Next is how to the causes of gynecomastia, the hormonal dependency of the benign breast diseases, and other is the pathogenesis, which is also that is hormonal dependent, and the breast lesion, benign lesions which has increased carcinoma risk. So what are the lesions which have increased risk of carcinoma? Breast lesions. কোনটার increased risk ছিল? তিনটে তো টাইপ ছিল, তার মধ্যে কোনগুলো increased risk? Proliferative breast lesions with atypia. ঠিক আছে? So coming to some MCQs. So what is the most common benign lesion of the female breast? Okay, fibrocystic disease. And the most common benign tumor in young women? Fibroadenoma. ঠিক আছে, fibrocystic disease টা হচ্ছে lesion আর fibroadenoma হচ্ছে tumor. ঠিক আছে, and fibroadenoma এর মধ্যে কি components থাকে? Ductal, adipose tissue, stromal, glandular, smooth muscle. It will be proliferation of both stromal and glandular components. And bloody nipple discharge is classically associated with ইন্ট্রাডাক্টাল প্যাপিলোমা। ঠিক আছে, এখানে একটা ছবি ছিল। The first picture, this is a papilloma. It occurs in these large ducts. Okay, that's why it will lead to bloody nipple discharge. আর আনসার লেখাই আছে। The most common the benign lesion with the highest risk of subsequent carcinoma is the atypical ductal hyperplasia or the atypical lobular যদি থাকতো, মানে proliferative with ATP এর মধ্যে যা দেবে সেটাই। আর হচ্ছে প্রিন্সিপাল হরমোন রেসপন্সিবল ফর epithelial proliferation on the breast, কি বল? Estrogen. So these are the important points. First is or multiple times it has been discussed. First is the most common lesion, which is a fibrocystic disease. Most common breast tumor is a fibroadenoma. The most common cause of bloody nipple discharge is intraductal papilloma. Highest risk cancer among the benign lesions is the atypical ductal or the atypical lobular hyperplasia. The most important hormonal factor in benign breast disease is the estrogen. The basic mechanism of gynecomastia is increased estrogen effect relative to androgens, and the most common drug causing gynecomastia is the spironolactone. And the physiological gynecomastia occurs in neonatal, pubertal and elderly due to hormonal imbalance.